Michelle Shaw. I am with an organization known as Philadelphia United for Progress. We are a relatively new organization of very concerned Philadelphians and beyond who in this election cycle realized that voter engagement, voter education, and voter empowerment has been really overlooked in this city, and it's our goal to help you, the Philadelphian voter, be educated and empowered when you go in and vote on May 16th, which is primary day, right? We know this, right? Okay, May 16th, okay. All right. Because this is a conversation, this is not a lecture. Despite the fact that I'm sitting in this amazing chair in a second and I have this huge ballot. So we're here to answer your questions. This is for you, for your education and benefit. There are handouts around, right up here, if you didn't get any, and if you did and you want to take some to go with you because somebody could benefit from them, please do. You can find out more about us as an organization by following us Philly Up on Facebook or checking out our website, which is phillyup.org. And you can also always friend me or Mimi or anybody else in the group because apparently that's what everyone seems to be doing now. And we'll try to answer your questions to the best of our ability. So there are 3 candidates here to meet with you, and they've all graciously agreed to make themselves available after the presentation to answer any questions that you have generally about the roles that they're running for, the position that they're running for, about their platforms and their candidacy. I strongly encourage you to speak to them. Rebecca Reinhardt is right here in the front. Rebecca is running for city controller. And she's right here, guys. Right on the bottom. She's number 61. Okay. 61. Rebecca Reinhardt. We have Vicki Christensen, who's running for judge of the Court of Common Pleas.
What number are you, Vicki?
She's 14.
14.
Okay.
14.
And then we have Jennifer Schultz, who's number 32. She's right back there. Okay. I think there's a few other candidates that are going to be here later over the course of the conversation. So please feel free to, they've kindly agreed to make themselves available. So like I said, May 16th is the primary. Wendy Barish just walked in. The goal of today is to walk you through what's on the ballot on primary day, May 16th. This enlarged ballot is actually the ballot that you're going to see when you go in. This is a primary election, so this is an election that's held to determine the party candidate that will stand in the general election for a variety of positions. But because this is the city of Philadelphia, the primary is the election. What does that mean? Republicans don't really win things here. We haven't had a Republican mayor since 1952. We've had 2 Republican district attorneys since 1952. The last was Arlen Specter. So this is a very Democratic-leaning town. That said, it also means that the term Democrat is not as concise or as neat and tidy as it would be at the state or national level, right? So this is one of the beauty of municipal elections is that it's kind of like the Wild West, right? You can meet with people more frequently, and there's a lot of forums and things going on, but the designation of someone saying that they're a Democrat isn't really as handy as it potentially would be in a different jurisdiction or at the state or national level. In a primary election, you can only vote if you are registered to a specific party, okay? That's not true. I take that back. Anybody can vote. You can only vote for candidates if you are registered to a specific party. Anyone can vote on the ballot questions, which we'll discuss later, okay? So on primary day, when you go in, if you are a registered Democrat, you're going to get a ballot that includes the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rows that are on the ballot right here. Maybe it's going to be my Vanna White. If you are a registered Republican, you are going to only see the last 2 columns. As you will see at the primary level, for the most part, a lot of these positions are uncontested for the Republicans. Again, because this is Philadelphia and Republicans just don't win stuff, okay? Which is, if any of you have been following, one of the candidates for DA, Michael Untermeyer, was a Republican, registered Republican, ran against Seth Williams as a Republican, switched party affiliation so that he could be in the primary this year. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we do more of a deep dive. Okay, so 2017, off-year election. What do we know about off-year elections? Nobody votes. I don't know why, because this is the stuff that really matters. These are the people that really like affect your life, but people don't vote. So we need to vote, right? And in Philadelphia, because the primary is the election, we really need to get out and vote for the primary, right? Especially this year, because the judiciary is like at front and center, as is fiduciary responsibility and fiscal like the fiscal watchdog position, which is the city controller position. Those things matter, right? We're seeing in this strange new political world that we live in that the judiciary has been a good check and sort of like the last resort of common sense. Having someone who is willing to really, in a non-partisan way, be critical and be willing to turn a critical eye to the executive and legislative branches, which is what the city controller really does, and making sure that our interests as taxpayers are really being met or being protected. Those things matter, right? We're pretty lucky here that we have a mayor that seems to be doing pretty well, and he's really popular right now. Don't think the same can be said for our city council. So we really do need to pay attention to all the branches of government, and this is the year for the judiciary. There's one position on the state Supreme Court. There are two positions on the Superior Court, 2 positions on the Commonwealth Court. I'll tell you more about those courts in a minute. 9 positions on the Court of Common Pleas, 2 on the Municipal Court, 1 district attorney and 1 controller, and then there's 2 ballot questions that everyone's gonna see. That's all citywide, okay? Within your ward and division, your little polling, your little piece of the city, your neighborhood, by polling place, there are also positions that are there for judge of elections. And those positions are, they're the people who work the polls when you go to election day. So there's 3 positions that are elected. It's the judge of elections and then 2 inspectors. And you're going to have just the candidates that are listed that are running for your ward on your ballot. There's a website on there for Philly Votes. If you go on there and you type in your address, you can see a sample ballot for your ward and division specific, which is great. I really recommend that. You will see though that like the judge of elections and inspector of elections, most of the time no one runs for them. So it's either write-in or they have like a curbside election that day. We'll talk a little bit more about why that can be problematic. But that's what's going to be on the ballot.
Just have one quick comment.
Yeah.
So you're totally right that for the local elections, the May primary really is where you have your voice heard.
Correct.
But I would just also emphasize that those people at the top of the ballot, Supreme Court, Superior Court, Commonwealth Court, they are statewide, and we have a very bad record of not getting our Philly people into that state level because we don't show up for the general.
Right.
Just a pitch to remember November.
Yes, remember November. Thank you. We are the economic center of the state, but for some reason, the state legislature and the state judiciary at the state level isn't necessarily representative of Philadelphia values all the time, because even though we are the population center, of the 5 most populous and economically wealthy counties in the state, 4 of the 5 are in the greater Philadelphia region, and the other 5th one is Allegheny County, which is the county that surrounds and includes Pittsburgh, right? So yes, it really does matter, and we have, I think historically we haven't really been paying a lot of attention to the judge positions in general because they don't seem as sexy, right? But this year we have the benefit of not only having real options to change or really change the direction of the state level courts. We also have a wide open district attorney's race, which we have not had in a long time. So the combination of the two can really go a long way to change the tenure of our judiciary. Someone sent me a quote that really resonated with me about why voting for judges is so important. Judges can take away your property, take away your freedom. They can help you form a family. They can help you dissolve your family. They're powerful people. You want to make sure that you're voting for people who are qualified and have the right temperament and the right reasons behind why they're running for the judgeship. So I just thought that was a really interesting way of putting that. It's such a powerful position and we don't even think about it. I actually didn't grow up in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Maryland. And another one of the affiliate members also grew up in Maryland. And she and I were talking about how when we were in 4th grade, we had a whole unit on Maryland. You know, we learned all about the state government and the counties and the founders and our local and state political structure. I don't know if Pennsylvania does that, but I never got that, right? So one of the things that was crazy to me when I first moved here is like, why are all the judges elected? That's insane, and they run with a party, with a party designation. That's crazy, right? I mean, we have a 2-tier judicial system in the United States, right? Where we have the federal level. Those courts are there to interpret and uphold the United States Constitution and federal laws and statutes. Those are the laws and statutes that are passed by Congress, and then there's also administrative decisions and things like that that come from the federal agencies.